To all of our YouTube listeners and everybody everywhere, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, because this is the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. The message today is the mystery of consciousness. Woo, just take that in. You think you're always enough? No. Do you think you have been always enough? You just didn't know then? Because I can tell you for that. I did not know. And I'm always becoming. Remember last week? I'm always becoming in the know. So let's just start with a short centering. Relax your eyes. And you could just look into your lap or do whatever you want, but just have no distractions around your eyes. And just take a nice deep breath to allow all of your body to expand and really let it go out real long. The slower you exhale, the more life sets into you. And as you heard that song, I wonder, did you notice that she was singing about her consciousness journey? There was a time when she thought she was nobody, none of this mattered, and all of this thing. But she began to believe in something about her. And then she started realizing that all of the doubt and all of the shame that she carried was never hers to claim. Never. But we kind of get confused back in the day. We got confused back in the day. She had been searching for something she already had, is what she's telling us. And so she talked about this light, and she really meant that it was her consciousness that was already in her. And just like me and a lot of us, we have been through those days when we did not know that we were anything, let alone that we were always enough. So to me, that's one perfect example of the mystery of consciousness. So the greatest discovery is not us finding something new. It's becoming aware of what's already been here all along. We are sharing something here that we value deeply. It just important that I allow anyone who feels fed by it to support it, because our community flows on its sustained generosity from the people who send those beautiful, generous donations in. They keep us on the air. And thank you for your support in that, by the way. So with the energy, open your minds and the energy of yourself and your hearts and minds and come together in this big, beautiful consciousness container that we've already set ourselves in, and listen to the mystery of consciousness. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and connect your mind, your body, and your spirit. We need those three together today and always, and listen through that connection. So today, I want to invite you into something that it's really one thing. It's one of the greatest mysteries that you will ever experience. And we look at the stars and think that's a mystery. I'm not talking about the stars. We might be looking at that beautiful ocean with all of those waves. That's a good thing, but I'm not talking about that. And I'm not even talking about life itself. What I'm talking about is the very thing through which you experience all of your life. Not one of us had a life that wasn't meant to be. Some of us had a learning life. Most of us had a learning life. But I'm talking about your consciousness. Right now, you know you're here. You know you're listening. You also know that you're hearing my voice. You also know that you are thinking. Now, have you ever stopped and wondered, how do I know that I know? Now, that's a question is where curiosity begins. And curiosity is the doorway, open the door, to the mystery of consciousness. So the mystery of consciousness has fascinated humanity since the early centuries, way before the beginning of time. Don't get it twisted, honey. What people think is that, well, everything was based on the Bible, but the Bible wasn't even here yet. So scientists are curious about this. Philosophers are curious about consciousness, and spiritual teachers are curious about it. And today, I'm still curious about it. That is one reason that I continue researching and growing in consciousness, because of the way my life has immensely improved. See, I've been around a long time. And if you've been around me for any length of time, you already know that I love doing the research. I love knowing about the brain, and I love learning about the nervous system, of course, the body. And because of that, in my heart and my spirit, it's not anything in particular why people heal around me. It's just the way it is. But why is it? Because all of this stuff keeps us informed, and I get to continuously explore the mystery of consciousness even more. So besides that, I'm a science of mind minister who loves demonstrating how we know what we know. I like to look it up and figure it out and hash it out and come on back with the words and the way that you'll understand. Because the way they write those big stuff that I read, you'd be surprised the way I come down and bring it down to our level. Science and spirituality belong together. That's why this movement and this teaching is called the science of mind. So when science uncovers another piece of how life works, it connects with us as spirituality. The truth doesn't become true just because science discovered it. Science discovers what has already been here, and they just showing us that, yep, that's what they're saying in spirituality. It's always been true. Spirituality is one of the ways that we carry that which science discovers into the truth. And we connect that mind, body, and spirit of ours with it. And here we go. That's why I get excited when I read a new piece of research, because I see science and spirituality revealing the same reality about different things, but they use different languages. So one helps us understand, and the other one helps us it helps to be a part of our becoming. So they also give us this bigger picture of who we are and how we live. So what science does is it raises our curiosity. And you've heard the word hypotheses. Well, it forms a hypothesis. That's a question. Oh, right? And it keeps discovering. It keeps learning. That's what science does. And the more science studies consciousness, what it does is the more we realize there's still so much more to it. That's why I call it the mystery of consciousness. And as I study consciousness, I see that this isn't just about health, relationships, and peace of mind. It's about everything that happens in your life, but it's based on your consciousness. It's by right of consciousness that happens everything in our lives. So here's something I want to use an example of by rights of consciousness. Last week, I was going to Sam's Club. Don't ask me why, but I listen when Spirit says, we're going to do this. And I was like, all I need is eggs. And so I said, all right, I'm going to go to this big store for that. But I do like going in there, to be honest, because I like to look around. So anyway, I wasn't looking to spend no money like that, and I didn't. But it didn't make sense, but I followed my mind. I followed my consciousness anyway. As you call it, follow the money, if you will. So on the way there, my mind and I had one of our conversations about picking up some more Fiji water too. Now I've been, for the last 6 or 7 months, buying those boxes of Fiji because of the 3 different major ingredients in it. And I will not do a science test with you guys today, but anyway, that's why I was buying it. But it's getting expensive. So I said to me, I'm going to slow down for a while. Now, here's the interesting part. I tried several different places to get my Primo water delivered here, and they said they didn't deliver in my zip code. I tried several different places online to get this delivery. So it didn't happen that way. So I thought, that's okay. I'll just keep buying one bottle a week, like I always did. One day, Alan came with me to get a bottle to sit the old bottle back and put it on my thing here. But that's okay. So I let it go. And that was my decision. Now, you're just going to go back to going to the store, getting that one bottle, and you're just going to call it a day. And I'm okay with it because I've been doing it anyway. So by the time I finished all of that, letting go and listening to my music, I stopped thinking about it. So 20 minutes later, I'm walking through Sam's Club. And you know how big that store is, right? I'm zigzagging through all the different aisles, and I'm just looking at stuff because I love looking. I can do that, right? Because I don't have to spend money. I can look, right? But the closer I get to the dairy section, way back there, I guess it's a mile long if you ask me, I walk into this young lady and she's standing beside a Primo water display, but I don't see that yet. But I stopped because she just stopped me and we started talking, but I speak to everybody. That's just who I am. So she tells me, if you buy 2 gallons, 2 5-gallon bottles, you get 2 to get today, and then you get a $20 rebate. I was game for that. I was like, come on. So, but I told her this, but you know what? I tried different companies. They don't deliver to my zip code. So if you're telling me to come here to get this, I'm not doing it. I could go right to Walmart, which is a couple of miles away from my house. Oh, she said to me something I never expected. She tells me that Sam's Club just started delivering Primo water. So my zip code is already included. Oh, and besides that, she said that Sam's Club just took over that company that I was trying online, the particular one called Fresh or something like that. So now, life just is beautiful to me. Think about this. Out of a store that size and all of those aisles, at that particular moment, my consciousness already knew in the car, even though I wasn't paying attention to it at the time when I made the decision, it already knew that this was going to happen long before I did. That's why I kept being burnt to go to Sam's Club for a big box of eggs, though. It's not just a dozen. But, I like getting my eggs from there in Costco. Okay. But anyway, I may have released all of that in the car and thought, okay, we're good. I'm not going to buy the Fiji from Sam's Club today. That's it. But that consciousness of mine walked me through that entire store, walked me right into a person with all the answers that I needed. Now, think about that. So for me, that's the mystery of consciousness. Now, some people would call it a coincidence. Some may call it science. Some may call it spirituality. But I call it that spirituality and science working together. And that's consciousness. So as soon as I became clear in my decision, I just let go of things and go, all right, well, you're not gonna get the Fiji water today. You're just gonna go get the thing. I call it a day. Boom, boom, boom. I came out of there with 4 bottles being delivered to my house, which came 2 days ago. And now I don't have to go out to the store anymore. And I got my Isaiah here. He's always making sure I got the water filled up in that thing, or Alan would have done it. So it's just amazing. So I make a decision, and I want you to think about this. Think about it. I have all these things going through my mind. I make a decision, I relax, and then I keep it moving, because that's how I walk into the right solutions with ease, not straining about, but you sure I should have? I said I would not do it. I'm okay. I'm not going to get that water. I'm just going to get 1 bottle a week. Let it go. I had so many major lessons in my life that taught me that solutions are everywhere. They just are. And most of the times, the answers are always right there. already, but sometimes we just are not, we just got other things going on. So the mind just doesn't get it yet. But sometimes what needs to change is not life. Sometimes I used to say, oh, I would like for things to change in my life. I would da, 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 da. But what had to change for me was my awareness. So I say, sometimes it's your awareness that needs to change. What are you aware of? That's why consciousness matters. And it's not just about thinking, like Sonja said in the reading. It's not just us thinking. It's about us becoming. Remember, I said becoming means that you go on and on and on and on. You never stop because ing is at the end. So as I am becoming, I see everything about about how my life, and I see my life for what it truly is. It's always becoming. I'm never there, never there, never there. So I begin to relax because the truth is things are always moving, but we just got to let it. And I said, like earlier, the more I learn, I see that consciousness is not just about health, relationships, and peace of mind. I also see money for what it truly is. That's a stiff subject that people want to hide. And the more they hide their feelings about it, the less they'll have of it. I mean that. That's the consciousness again. Money has its place in consciousness, yet many people, they try to play it down. Why do you care? What do you mean, why do I care? Because it's up there near oxygen and I needed to live and I needed to breathe, right? But most people, they're taught negative things about money and they try to hide the fact that they want it because somebody is going to try to shame them and say, that's all you want is money. And I say, yes, that's right, if you want to be that sarcastic. But yeah, I have people that I've known to say that to me. And I would say, especially as I was learning more and more and more about me becoming back in 20 years ago, I started going, yes, I want it. I made no bones about it. So those are things that you learn about money, but we have to release those things that other people have put upon us to think about. Some people feel money is the root of all evil. Some people feel like because somebody's rich, they're evil. That's such a lie. I know so many rich people. I really do. But I do not see them snooty and all that. I see snooty people because they were snooty when they didn't have it. Okay, so it ain't the money that made them. They already had it in them. So I don't hide the fact that I love money. It's part of my consciousness. It's still growing within me. I'm still becoming with money. Okay, you gotta have that. But as my consciousness grows, so does my money. And I no longer see money as something to worry about. I see it as currency. I love the fact that Sonja didn't even know that I mentioned the word currency as money because I call it electricity. What does current mean, guys? It's running through your house right now. Money is how we change the way we look at it. Because when you change the way you look at it, the way you look at it changes. The word currency suggests movement. It's running through my house right now. It's simply money. It's simply energy in motion. Circulate. You hear the word circulate your money? If you don't circulate your money, you will have that same little pool sitting right there, zero. I'm telling you, I am always becoming more aware of my oneness with spirit. And I realize that an abundance of money is part of my divine inheritance because of the fact that you are born, you are supposed to have everything you want. So sit back and start working on that mindset so you can start being accepted. So you can start accepting these things because money is a way that life supports us. So don't be ashamed to have it. And don't be letting people tell you that rich people are bad because they're not. Money is something we allow. Money is something I personally welcome. And it's something that I make room for. And I take time for it every single day. Money has preference too. So if you ignore it and you create fear around it, it tightens up in your life. What do you think? That's what happens. So I stopped arguing with it and looking at it going, you're not enough. How would you like for somebody to tell you you're not enough? You tell money you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough. It's backing away from you. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. So I stopped telling my money that it's not enough. And I just keep on going, and more things start to open up and more channels of ways to do that. So I recognize that same energy that expresses life, which is our universe, the energy that's around us, through us, and as us, and it creates everything. Well, let me tell you something. That same energy carries my source of money. And the reason why I keep saying mine is because I don't want to force people to believe something they don't believe yet. You can say the same doggone thing, but it's on you. But here's the thing. I'm telling you, from the 90s to the middle of 2003, 4, I was in a bad place when it comes to everything. My health, my money, everything was like, but when I started working out into this particular thought pattern and learning things, something shifted in me that I was able to accept that my oneness with spirit that's already in me and money are in the same playing field. Don't get it twisted. They are. So I stopped living as though money is separate from me. And I also live as though money is a part of me. So when I welcome abundance instead of forcing it, what happens is I'm more aware of the resources that support my life. To me, money is becoming one of the greatest resources that support my life. But let me ask you this. Are you ready for me to say this? What about you? See, because as my awareness expands, I'm recognizing more of what was already here, what's already available to me. You heard the young lady sing and feel his soul. She's always enough. She was always enough. She didn't know. So now we know. See, I'm becoming more willing to receive money. I'm even more willing to expect it. Expect it. Don't let that guilt come back up to you when you start expecting it, because solutions are everywhere and in every aspect of your life, including your flow of money. So science continues to teach us that attention changes the brain. The attention, when you start taking classes with us, you're going to start getting deeper into how this all works in your own brain and then transforming. Because science and spirituality, what happens is they both agree to the truth that every aspect of our life matters. And Science of Mind invites us to continue to keep exploring it. That's the reason why we have these classes. The law is always working. The presence is always here. Life is always expressing. The question is never whether spirit is present. The question is, am I aware enough to recognize that it's already in me? Did you hear me? Are you aware enough to recognize that it's already with you? That's why consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries I'll ever explore. But I enjoy it. So every day I have another opportunity to become a little bit more aware, because I'm always becoming anyway, right? So a little bit more aware tomorrow, a little bit more aware the next day. Here's the reason for that. I've been becoming available to the wisdom that's already in me for a long time. It was painful at first, but then as soon as I started taking those classes, I became aware and aware and aware and aware and aware. Science and spirituality improved my life immensely. It will improve your life immensely too, if you choose to let it. So see, what happens is science and spirituality, they meet us where we are. So when I'm in my when I'm thinking about my money and I'm looking at it every day to make sure I got things going where it's going, listen, money meets me. Science and spirituality meets me right there. Even it met me in the water aisle at Sam's Club because I didn't think, why would I want to go to Sam's Club just for a 24 box of eggs? But my curiosity pushed me forward, and my curiosity in the mystery of consciousness is how I get to know more deeply. It's how I live it more faithfully and express it more completely. And see, that's what makes life a journey worth living, because we're always on the journey. But at the edge of each journey, something inside of us begins to stir. Some of it's a little fear, but that's okay, and trepidation. Okay. But we know that something is calling us. So keep going. Stop playing with yourself. Because to me, that's the invitation of the mystery to the mystery of consciousness. Now you step into that mystery and allow your oneness with spirit to call you a little deeper than you've ever been before. But as you consider giving your gift today, I invite you to see it differently. It's not another bill. It's your way of saying something's feeding me here. It's an investment in your own growth, your own experience. Your donation expands possibilities and encourages this ministry to continue serving you and anybody else. So when you recognize that something is helping you grow, your giving becomes a natural response to what you receive. So thank you for strengthening how the mystery of consciousness works through your giving. So thank you. So as we wrap up our time together, remember this. The mystery of consciousness is alive in you. It's a current that's flowing through you 24/7. And curiosity is the practice of sitting, speaking directly to you in conversations between you and your consciousness. Don't get it twisted. You're not crazy. The more you sit with yourself, the easier it is to inquire about the mystery of consciousness, and the quantum field is always there supporting you in your mystery of consciousness. So until we meet again, questioning the mystery of consciousness. And so it is.